The sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the bustling carnival grounds. Kaisha adjusted her glasses, her sharp eyes scanning the crowd for any sign of Malik. She had heard he would be here, and she couldn't let him outshine her again. Their rivalry had been the talk of the school, from academic competitions to sports, and now, even at the carnival, she was determined to come out on top. Malik, on the other hand, was already at the carnival, his confident smirk in place as he won yet another game. He knew Kaisha would be here, and he relished the thought of another victory. As Kaisha approached the ring toss booth, she spotted Malik's tall frame and his signature red hoodie. Their eyes met, and the air between them crackled with tension. "Fancy seeing you here," Malik teased, his voice dripping with mockery. Kaisha rolled her eyes, refusing to let him get under her skin. "I could say the same about you," she retorted, stepping up to the booth. The game was on, and neither was willing to back down. Little did they know, this carnival would be the start of something neither of them could have anticipated. The carnival was alive with laughter, music, and the tantalizing smell of cotton candy. Kaisha and Malik found themselves face to face at the Ferris wheel, both determined to claim the best seat for the view. However, their plans were interrupted by the carnival's announcer, who declared a special competition, a float building contest. The prize, a year's worth of free carnival tickets, and the title of carnival champions. The catch, participants had to team up, and the pairs were chosen at random. Kaisha's heart sank as she watched the announcer draw names from a hat. "Kaisha and Malik," the announcer called out, and the crowd erupted in cheers. Malik groaned and Kaisha's face fell. "This has to be a joke," she muttered under her breath. Malik crossed his arms, his usual smirk replaced with a frown. "Looks like we're stuck with each other," he said, his tone less than enthusiastic. Despite their mutual disdain, neither could resist the allure of the prize. Reluctantly, they agreed to work together, though the tension between them was palpable. The next morning, Kaisha and Malik met at the designated area to begin their float project. The space was filled with other teams, all buzzing with excitement and ideas. Kaisha had come prepared with sketches and a detailed plan, while Malik arrived with nothing but his usual confidence. "So what's the plan, genius?" Malik asked, leaning casually against a table. Kaisha rolled her eyes, holding up her sketches. "If you'd bothered to prepare, you'd know," she snapped. Their first clash came when Kaisha suggested a theme based on the carnival's history, complete with vintage designs and intricate details. Malik, however, had a different idea. "Why not something more modern, something that will really catch people's eyes?" he argued. Kaisha shook her head, frustrated. "We need something with substance, not just flashy lights," she countered. The argument escalated, with neither willing to budge. Finally, a carnival worker intervened, suggesting they find a way to combine their ideas. Reluctantly, they agreed, though the tension between them was far from resolved. As the days passed, Kaisha and Malik found themselves spending more time together, working late into the night on their floats. Despite their initial clashes, they began to notice small things about each other. Kaisha admired Malik's creativity and his ability to think outside the box, while Malik was impressed by Kaisha's dedication and attention to detail. One evening, as they painted the float, Malik broke the silence. You know you're not as bad as I thought, he admitted, his tone softer than usual. Kaisha looked up, surprised by his words. And you're not as arrogant as I thought, she replied, a small smile tugging at her lips. They shared a laugh, the first genuine moment of camaraderie between them. For the first time, they began to see each other as more than just rivals. There was a growing understanding, a recognition of each other's strengths. It was a small step, but it was enough to change the dynamic between them. Just as Kaisha and Malik were making progress, a sudden storm threatened to ruin everything. Dark clouds rolled in, and the wind picked up, sending carnival decorations flying. They rushed to cover their float, but the rain came down in sheets, drenching everything in its path. We need to secure the tap, Kaisha shouted over the noise of the storm. Malik nodded, his usual confidence replaced with determination. They worked together, battling the elements to protect their creation. The storm raged on, but so did they, their teamwork growing stronger with each passing moment. When the storm finally passed, they stood side by side, soaked but victorious. Their float was safe, and for the first time, they felt like a true team. The experience had brought them closer, and they realized that maybe, just maybe, they could achieve something great together. With the storm behind them, Kaisha and Malik continued to work on their flute, their newfound camaraderie making the process smoother. One evening, as they took a break, Kaisha opened up about her passion for art and design. I've always loved creating things, she said, her eyes lighting up as she spoke. It's like I can bring my imagination to life. Malik listened intently, surprised by her vulnerability. In turn, Malik shared his own dreams. I want to be an architect, he admitted. I love the idea of building something that will last, something that people will remember. Kaisha was surprised by his ambition, and she realized there was more to Malik than she had ever given him credit for. They spent hours talking, sharing their hopes and fears, and for the first time, they saw each other as more than just rivals. They saw each other as friends. Just as Kaisha and Malik were beginning to trust each other, a misunderstanding threatened to tear them apart. Kaisha overheard Malik talking to one of the other competitors, and it sounded like he was sharing their ideas. Furious, she confronted him. How could you? She demanded, her voice shaking with anger. Malik looked confused. What are you talking about? He asked. Kaisha explained what she had heard, and Malik's face fell. That's not what happened, he said, his tone serious. I was just asking for advice on how to improve our float. Kaisha hesitated, unsure whether to believe him. The trust they had built was fragile, and this misunderstanding had shaken it to its core. They spent the rest of the day in silence, the tension between them palpable. The next day, Malik approached Kaisha with a sincere apology. I'm sorry for not being clearer, he said, his eyes filled with regret. I would never betray you like that. Kaisha looked at him, searching for any sign of deceit, but all she saw was honesty. She realized she had overreacted, and she felt a pang of guilt. I'm sorry too, she admitted. I should have trusted you. They spent the day working together, slowly rebuilding the trust that had been broken. It wasn't easy, but they were determined to move forward. By the end of the day, they were laughing and joking like before, the misunderstanding behind them. They realized that their partnership was stronger than any obstacle, and they were ready to face whatever came next. As the carnival's final day approached, the competition grew more intense. The other teams were pulling out all the stops, and Kaisha and Malik knew they had to do the same. They spent long hours perfecting their float, adding final touches and making sure every detail was just right. The pressure was mounting, but they were determined to give it their all. On the day of the competition, the carnival was packed with people, all eager to see the floats. Kaisha and Malik stood by their creation, their nerves on edge. They had come so far, and now it was time to see if their hard work would pay off. As the judges made their rounds, they held their breath, hoping for the best. When the announcer finally called their names as the winners, Kaisha and Malik couldn't believe it. They had done it. They had won the competition. The crowd erupted in cheers, and they found themselves hugging in celebration. It was a moment of pure joy, a culmination of all their hard work and determination. As they stood on the stage, holding their trophy, they realized how much they had grown. They had started as rivals, but they had become so much more. They had become a team, and they had achieved something incredible together. The carnival had brought them together, and it had changed their lives forever. After the competition, Kaisha and Malik found themselves in high spirits. The victory had not only brought them closer, but also earned them the respect of their peers. However, the real challenge was yet to come, maintaining their newfound friendship outside the carnival. As they packed up their floats, Kaisha turned to Malik. "What happens now?" she asked, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Malik smiled, his usual confidence returning. "We take this momentum and run with it," he said. "We've proven we can work together. Why stop now?" Kaisha nodded, feeling a sense of relief. They had overcome so much, and she was determined not to let their rivalry resurface. As they left the carnival grounds, they made a pact to support each other in their future endeavors, both in school and beyond. Back at school, Kaisha and Malik were paired for a major project in their history class. Their assignment was to create a presentation on a significant historical event, and they chose the Renaissance. Working together outside the carnival was a new experience, but they quickly fell into a rhythm. Kaisha's meticulous research complemented Malik's creative presentation skills, and they soon had a solid plan. However, old habits die hard, and they found themselves butting heads over the design of their presentation. Kaisha wanted a traditional fact-based approach, while Malik pushed for a more interactive, engaging format. After a heated debate, they decided to combine their ideas, creating a presentation that was both informative and captivating. Their teacher was impressed, and they received top marks, further solidifying their partnership. As the school year progressed, the annual winter dance approached. Kaisha and Malik found themselves discussing it during one of their study sessions. "Are you going?" Kaisha asked, trying to sound casual. Malik shrugged. "Maybe. Are you?" Kaisha hesitated, then nodded. "I was thinking about it." The conversation lingered in their minds, and as the dance drew closer, they both found themselves hoping the other would ask them to go together. Finally, Malik mustered the courage to ask Kaisha, and she accepted with a smile. The night of the dance, they arrived together, their friendship blossoming into something more. As they danced under the twinkling lights, they realized how far they had come from their days of rivalry. After the dance, Kaisha and Malik's relationship continued to evolve. They spent more time together, sharing their dreams and fears. One evening, as they sat by the lake near their school, Malik turned to Kaisha. "There's something I need to tell you," he said, his voice serious. Kaisha's heart raced as she waited for him to continue. "I've realized that you are more than just a friend to me," Malik confessed. "I think I'm falling for you." Kaisha was stunned, but as she looked into his eyes, she realized she felt the same way. "I think I'm falling for you too," she admitted. They shared a tender moment, their bond stronger than ever. It was a turning point in their relationship, and they knew there was no going back. With their newfound romance, Kaisha and Malik faced new challenges. Balancing their relationship with their academic and personal lives was no easy feat. They found themselves arguing more often, the pressure of their responsibilities taking a toll. One particularly heated argument left them both questioning whether they could make it work. However, they were determined not to let their past rivalry ruin what they had built. They sat down and talked openly about their feelings, addressing the issues head on. It was a difficult conversation, but it brought them closer together. They realized that their love was worth fighting for, and they were willing to put in the effort to make it work. As Kaisha and Malik navigated their relationship, they leaned on each other for support. Kaisha was struggling with a difficult family situation, and Malik was there to listen and offer comfort. Similarly, when Malik faced challenges with his college applications, Kaisha was his rock, encouraging him to keep going. Their bond grew stronger as they faced life's ups and downs together. They became each other's biggest cheerleaders, celebrating each other's successes and providing a shoulder to lean on during tough times. Their relationship was no longer just about romance. It was a partnership built on trust, respect, and mutual support. As graduation approached, Kaisha and Malik began to think about their future. They had both been accepted to different colleges, and the prospect of being apart was daunting. However, they were determined to make it work. "We've come this far," Kaisha said. "We can handle anything." Malik nodded, his confidence unwavering. "We'll make it work," he assured her. They spent their final days of high school making memories, cherishing the time they had together. They knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together. Their love had grown from a rivalry to a partnership, and they were confident that it could withstand anything. College life brought new experiences and challenges for Kaisha and Malik. The distance between them was difficult, but they made an effort to stay connected. They scheduled regular video calls, sent each other care packages, and visited whenever possible. Despite the miles between them, their bond remained strong. There were moments of doubt and frustration, but they always found a way to work through it. Their love was a constant source of strength, reminding them of what they had built together. They knew that their relationship was worth the effort, and they were determined to make it last. During a break from college, Kaisha and Malik reunited at the Carnival where it all began. Walking through the familiar grounds, they reminisced about their journey. "It's hard to believe how much has changed," Kaisha said, her hand in Malik's. Malik smiled, squeezing her hand. And yet, some things stay the same, he replied. They spent the day enjoying the carnival, creating new memories while cherishing the old ones. It was a reminder of how far they had come and how much they had grown together. As they watched the fireworks light up the night sky, they knew that their love was as vibrant and enduring as the carnival itself. Years later, Kaisha and Malik stood together at their wedding, surrounded by friends and family. Their journey had been filled with challenges, but it had also been filled with love, growth, and unforgettable moments. As they exchanged vows, they reflected on how their rivalry had transformed into a lifelong partnership. The Carnival of Dreams had brought them together, and it had set the stage for their love story. They had discovered not only each other but also themselves, and they were ready to face the future together. As they danced under the stars, they knew that their love was a dream come true, a testament to the power of transformation and the magic of the carnival. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.